I love to ski and I love to eat, so it's ski lunch today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Let's Cook. I was away for a week. I went away with my kids. We were skiing, had a great time, had some great food, and so hence today it's ski lunch. So I get to wear a sweater. I have a little bit of facial hair. It was cold there on the mountain, so I think your beard grows faster up there. Plus it keeps you nice and warm too while you're skiing. Now we need to make a little bit of food. First, one of the items that I had up there was a cheddar cheese soup. A French-Canadian cheddar cheese soup, out of this world. But the first thing we have to do to make the cheddar cheese soup is we have to make a garnish for it, or some biscuits. So we're not going to use croutons. We're going to make some nice cheesy biscuits as a garnish for the cheddar cheese soup. To make that, I'm going to take my flour here, along with a little bit of sugar, baking soda, baking powder, and salt, and I'm going to sift them together. But the sifting process does two things. One, it incorporates a little bit of air. Secondly, it mixes the ingredients together, so we have that. Next, we add our butter to this, so I'm just going to put my butter in there. Butter should be somewhat cold. Then we just mix this together. It's a good idea right now to actually take the butter along with the cheese and just kind of break it up to make sure all that gets mixed together well. Just want to mix this all together nice and evenly, cutting that butter. We want nice, light, fluffy biscuits. Make sure your hands are impeccably clean when you do this. Just break up that butter in with the cheese. That's good. Next, add our buttermilk. Get that all in there. Just mix this together just till it comes together. See how this is just coming together? But, you know, every once in a while it works a little different. This is just a little dry, hence I need just a little bit more liquid in here. Now the buttermilk works with the baking soda because of the acid in it. The butter, you know, the baking soda, no, I'm confused here. I'm going to stop for a second. The baking soda works with the acid from the buttermilk. The baking powder already contains the acid, so you're actually working with two different leavening agents here. My batter's together now. Now all I'm going to do, because I want them real small, and I'll show you how to do this, you'll take your hand like this, moisten it with a little bit of flour. That way the batter won't stick to your hand so much. Then with a small scoop like this, we're going to put it in water. That way it won't stick. We're going this way, and we just cut these out onto this sill pad here, keeping them about 1.5 inches apart. That's all we have to do here. Drop these in. And these are going to take about 12 minutes in the oven. You can also make these bigger if you just want to have these. These would also be good with a little bit of chicken gravy too, or chicken stew, chicken mushroom ragout, which we're making later on in the show too. So see how the water allows this to just come out of the scoop. If I didn't put it in the water each time or every other time, it would stick and then I'd have a gooey mess. This way I have real consistency here too. And again, these are real basic ingredients that you can use when you're skiing. So that's good to go there. We're going to get this in the oven now, and then we're going to get our soup started. By the time my biscuits are done, my soup will also almost be done. To make the soup, have a little bit of butter that I melted in a pan right here. To this now, I'm going to add some onions. We're going to also add some celery. Cook this up, just saute this just till it starts to basically turn translucent. Also a little bit of crushed red pepper in there for heat, or cayenne pepper if you don't have crushed red pepper. You want that warmth when you're skiing. Once those turn translucent, we then add a little flour to this. This is actually making our roux. Don't want any color on this. All we want to do is cook off the little bit of moisture there that's in the flour. Also, by cooking off that moisture, the gluten won't develop as quickly when we add our liquid, and we're going to end up with a very smooth sauce to add our cheese to. No color. Now we go ahead and we add our broth to this. If you don't have chicken broth, you can go ahead and just even add water to this, or you could use milk too. Just makes it a little richer. We're going to bring this up to a simmer and let this cook for about 20 minutes, about the same. Our biscuits will be done by the end of the show. And at the end of the show, I'm going to show you how to take this soup, add the cheddar cheese to it, and finish it as well. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we have another great luncheon item that you can use on your ski week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook's Ski Luncheon. I'm just reading up about this Wondra flour because when I was away for my ski week, I brought some of this Wondra flour, and it's so easy to thicken with this. So if you're going away and you want a little Wondra flour, whether you want to crust something or you want to thicken something, it's small, packs very well because, you know, skiing, you have a lot of equipment, a lot of things to bring, and this is great for thickening things up if you don't want to use regular flour or if you don't want to make a roux. So I'm going to show you how to work with this today, but first we have to go over our ingredients for our ragout. This is a great luncheon item because, one, it's a one-pot meal. Secondly, the ingredients are simple. I have assorted mushrooms here. I have some chanterelles here, some shiitakes. I have some oyster. I have some common mushrooms, chicken, thyme, bay leaf, parsley, onions, Wondra flour, white wine, heavy cream, all in one pot. Watch how easy we make it. First thing, I've heated my pot here a little bit, and to my pot here, I'm just going to put in just a little bit of oil. Just a little bit of oil there. Once the oil's in, we're going to start with our onions right here. Along with our onions here, we're going to start with some of our mushrooms, not all of them, just the sliced ones. The chanterelles, I'm going to show you what to do with the chanterelles in just a second. We stir this around. Let that start to sweat. No seasoning yet. See these chanterelles? These are really nice. They're really expensive. What we did is we just removed any of the dirt. And with these, a lot of times rather than cut them, I'll take them, especially like this, and I'll tear them right along a seam right there, and it occurs naturally. Same thing with the oyster mushrooms. I'll usually just tear them. The stem is sometimes woody. You need to remove that. We put them in. To this right now, I'm going to throw in a little bit of white wine. This all cooks together. This way, nothing's going to burn while I'm over here and I'm cutting up the chicken. Our chicken, we're just going to take our chicken right here, and we're going to just dice the chicken in nice bite-sized pieces. And the great thing about this is you make this meal in one pot. It's very easy, and it can be ready in 20 minutes. So if you just set up all your, everything cut up in the morning or the night before, leave it in the refrigerator, you come in from skiing, you want to make lunch, it's all ready to go. We just drop this in too. So we'll drop our chicken in there, stir this around here just a little bit, let that chicken just start to change color. Once the chicken starts to change color, I'm going to add a little stock to this. Beautiful. Now remember the Wondra flour I told you about? Well, with the Wondra flour now, all I'm going to do with this is even before it comes up to a boil, I'm simply going to take my Wondra flour, sprinkle a little bit in there, just to lightly thicken it. Now the Wondra is not going to work. See, it's going to give it like a, almost like a skim milk consistency. Perfect. Noodles next. Just add our noodles dry, right into the pot. Making sure we have enough stock to just cover this by about 1/4. Beautiful. You can also do this in a crock pot too. When you're on a ski weekend, you can start it out in the morning. Now all we do with this is now we add our thyme to it. We add a little bit of bay leaf to it. Mix that down in there. Season it now with just a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm using white pepper in this because I want it to be a little whiter. A little bit of white pepper there. Perfect. I'm going to take this now, get a cover on this. I'm going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes, stirring it maybe twice while it's simmering, just to make sure that it doesn't scorch and burn. And by the end of the show, in real time, this should be done. Have our cheddar cheese soup going. We have our ragout going. Now we need to take a little break because then when I come back, we're making a panini sandwich with Brie cheese, prosciutto, and a Bavarian relish. Don't go anywhere. It's Ski Lunch today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Ski Lunch today on Let's Cook. As when I started the show, I told you that I was away for a week with my kids and we were skiing and we had a great time. Hence, Ski Lunch, because we ate out at a lot of good places, but we also had some great lunches that we made ourselves. So, what are we going to do now? We're going to do a panini sandwich, a ham and brie, or actually I'm using prosciutto and brie panini sandwich, but the first thing I have to do is make a relish to go with it. And I've had this recipe for this relish for many years and I love it. And it's sauerkraut based, but even if you don't like sauerkraut, you're going to like this. We took our sauerkraut, we washed it and rinsed it off and squeezed it dry. We have our red onions and we have different color peppers here. I have orange and red. We have vinegar, sugar, parsley, salt, and pepper. Let me show you how we put this relish together, and it's better 2 days later. First thing, we need to cut the peppers very small for this relish, so I'll show you how to do that. What you do is you take a red pepper here, and what you do with your knife is you just remove the majority of the ribbing here on the pepper, getting rid of that ribbing, so you have a nice, small, thin piece of pepper here, and then you cut it down this way. Once you've done it this way, you're going to cut it into very small dice, or what we would call a brunoise. So then we just take the pepper and cut it up real small like this, as small as you can cut it basically without chopping it, because you don't want the liquid of the pepper coming out. So we'll take our red pepper here, along with that our red onion, our yellow pepper, red pepper. You can also use green pepper, use whatever is inexpensive. Then we take our sugar, and the sugar we're going to actually dissolve here in the vinegar a little bit. Just dissolve that. Eventually it will dissolve just in a marinade, but I like to dissolve it in there a little bit. Add that. Add our parsley. And add our sauerkraut. Now, again, remember, it's very important to wash that sauerkraut before you go to use it. Then we just, with a fork, we just take this, stir this all together, and this is going to be our Bavarian relish. Absolutely delicious. Now we have to make our panini sandwich. So right here, well, let's get rid of the pepper here. Right here I have some beautiful Vermont Brie cheese here. Just going to take this, cut this about 1/8 of an inch thick. Now, if the Brie is a little soft, it's a good idea to put it in a freezer, just to firm it up a little bit, and leave the rind on here because that's going to give you a lot of flavor, so that it'll slice up for you. There's my Brie cheese. Now we're going to take our bread. For our bread here, and I always get confused a little bit here, we're just going to take our bread here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of mustard on one side right here where I'm putting my prosciutto. Then I have my prosciutto right here, and again, this is sliced nice and thin. Beautiful prosciutto. Take our prosciutto, set this up here. Oh, I'm already getting excited. This tastes so good. And the prosciutto, you can use any ham, but the prosciutto has a nice strong flavor that really comes through. Then we take our Brie cheese. Looks good. And let's see how good it really tastes. Oh, so good. Panini machine is on here. Just going to take this now. Then we'll take a little bit of butter right here. Oh, that's delicious. We brush a little butter right on this side here. Pick up our sandwich. Flip it butter side down. Then once it's on the grill, a little bit more butter on this side. And again, people might, if you don't want to use butter, that's okay. If you're not doing, but on a ski weekend, we get a lot of energy from oil and fats. So this really goes well. Take this, we're going to drop this down and let our panini start to cook. That's going to take about 4 minutes. Let's just look at what else we have going here. We have our cheddar cheese soup here, where everything is simmering nicely. All we have to do is add the cheddar cheese to that. We also have our ragout right here. You can see my noodles are almost done there, so I'm going to let this continue to cook uncovered now. we're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how you put this entire ski luncheon out. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to our ski lunch. Now, we only have about 5 minutes, and I'm going to show you how we finish everything now. First of all, our panini sandwich. Oh, does this ever, whoops. Does this ever look good? So we're just going to take our panini sandwich right here off of the grill. Try not to lose any of that cheese. I love the crispy cheese there. Then we're just going to take our sandwich right here. How big should we make it? Oh, I'll cut it in 3s. So we have our delicious prosciutto and Brie panini sandwich right here. Then to go with this, we have the Bavarian relish right here. Just going to take a little Bavarian relish right here. And again, you know, it's lunchtime. We might want to make a little salad for this. So to make the salad, few of the greens here, some salt, a little bit of pepper there, a little bit more black pepper here. Then just a little drizzle here of extra virgin olive oil. And this is all I'm using in this. No vinegar, because I have the sauerkraut there, and I also have the Brie, and then we just give it a little salad right here too. Fantastic. Next, look at our ragout here. This is our mushroom and chicken ragout with noodles. The only thing we have to do, finish this with a heavy cream. Oh, make sure you bring it back up to boil. Doesn't that look great? We'll just dish this up right in here. Make sure you take out those thyme stems there. You don't want anybody eating stems while they're having their ski lunch. You know, the great thing about ski lunches is you try and do one-pot meals. You try and keep it simple. And you can eat food that is so hearty and so good for you, because when you're out there on the slopes and you're skiing around, you're using up so much energy that you can eat this. But the other thing that's really good too is, I mean, even one night we went out one dinner for sushi, and we had great sushi, which also gave us great energy. But here's our ragout there, stew. Next, we have to finish our cheddar cheese soup. To finish our cheddar cheese soup, we have our soup base right here. Now we're just going to add cheddar cheese to this and stir it till the cheese melts. Make sure you shut your heat off when you do this, and the soup should be hot enough just to melt the cheese. We're just going to, oh, doesn't this look good? Looks real good. You don't strain out any of the vegetables, none of that. You make sure your soup is thin enough, because it's going to get really thick and the cheese is going to thicken it up a little bit. If it does get a little too thick, just add a little bit of milk to it, just to thin it down there just a little bit. Doesn't this look great? And this will stick to your ribs. Fantastic. So here's our cheddar cheese soup. Let me just dish up some of this right now. Beautiful. Oh. It's a little cheesy here. You know, this is also just great over toast, but remember what our garnish is for this? We are in ski cheese heaven. Beautiful. Let me just clean up this plate right here just a little bit. Oh, the other thing that's real good with this that you can drizzle on top of this or add to this is a little bit of Worcestershire sauce or Tabasco sauce or hot sauce. Any of that will work there. Oh, remember our cheese biscuits? These are our little baby cheesy cheese biscuits that we made to go with our cheese soup. And I'm just going to, we have a little bit of time here, I'm going to show you. We're just going to break one of these open so you can see how nice and moist and light they are on the inside. Oh. I'm coming over here because what I need to do is I need to just get a little bit of butter here. Oh. Can you hear me chewing? Oh. We're just going to take our little cheesy biscuits right here, serve them on top of the soup. So, pretty fortunate today on Let's Cook. I was even more fortunate to go away with my family and have a great time skiing. But today, for our ski lunch, we made some great, very simple food. We have our prosciutto, grilled prosciutto, and Brie panini sandwich with a little bit of tossed salad, some Bavarian relish. We did our mushroom and chicken ragout with egg noodles all in one pot. And last but not least, and definitely not least, we did our delicious cheddar cheese soup with cheesy biscuits. Thank you so much for watching Let's Cook. You have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.